Good Thursday morning to you. Alright, we're going to pick up kind of where we left off, but just real briefly in case you missed the end of the last video. Not a whole lot of change in the garden, except I did manage to finally catch the cat, or at least one of the cats that's been in the backyard. Fortunately, didn't do any damage. And this morning I did one thing, well, I did two things, and I've got a third coming up. I'm not going to climb the hill and sling dirt because I'm not feeling the best. I think I kind of overdid it yesterday. It kind of surprised me, but I'm just going to be smart. So instead of doing that, I'm doing all of the sort of closer to the ground type of stuff. And I put this pole in, one of the longest poles we have. Actually, I think it may be the longest pole we have. Because that bean is climbing. I had another pole in there and it had already latched onto it. I put the pole in yesterday. In the past I've had beans that I've grown and they just didn't seem to jump, but this is jumping. So I tried wrapping it around. It didn't quite catch it, but maybe it'll catch it by tomorrow. Let's see what happens with that. Otherwise, no major changes in the garden. The other thing is I got the tags done, so now I have the proper dates from the stuff that I planted yesterday. I haven't planted anything new today, but I got one more project. Let's go take a look at that. Remember this area? I keep thinking I've got it level, but now you can kind of see daylight underneath that board. I bought an 8-foot 2x4 for something else and realized I had that available. I haven't done that other project just yet, so I've got something long enough and reasonably straight that I can try and level out the lawn better than I did before. So I'm going to go grab some dirt, throw it on there, and try and level it off again. The problem is just I keep walking over it and I can feel that it's still uneven, despite all of the effort I've put in to try and level it off. I probably need something like a 16-foot something or other that's heavy enough that I can drag around, and that would be, optimal. That would just be able to level things off on a much larger scale. But let's see what we can do with this. I need to leave something to go back up on the hill. I could do the entire lawn and it would end up taking more dirt than I actually have. I'd have to go out and buy some. I don't know. So I just kind of have to settle for a section of the lawn and get it kind of leveled out. The problem is anytime I want to walk out of the house and head in that direction, I'm walking over this really uneven area. It just has bothered me for years. So want to get leveled out. It's going to look ugly for a while, but it'll eventually, I hope, the grass will grow through. I'll throw some more fertilizer on it and hopefully that'll help. I had to fix the sprinklers. There was one little problem, so that should be a little bit better. And I had a little hiccup. There was a bit of a pause there while I was trying to figure out what to do. You can kind of see if you look really carefully. Right about there, there's a wet spot. I'm hoping I'm pointing at the right thing. Let me see if I can't. Should be right there, right on top of my finger. There's a wet spot, and that's because some of the soil I had stored, the cover I put on the bin apparently has cracks in it, and water got in, and even with drainage holes, it didn't fully drain. So I'm leaving that open to dry out today. Hopefully it'll dry out enough that'll be usable soil I can throw up on the hill. I've got two more bins, so I grabbed the next bin over and started working on that. It's probably about half empty at this point, but I wanted to give myself enough to get the stuff on the hill done, and if there's still soil left over, I can bring it out here, but this is a start. I also have the vermicompost bin, which I haven't talked about in a while and haven't really looked at. So maybe that'll be something to look at tomorrow. I'm hoping that tomorrow I can, I'm hoping that tomorrow I can get up on the hill and get some of that going, so I can get some of those plants planted near the top of the hill before they get so big that they're root bound in their little 6-packs. So that's the thinking. Other than going out and picking up some parts for other stuff, I think I'm pretty much done for the day. So we'll wrap it up and say, let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Friday morning to you. Let's take a look and see what's up in the garden. Wow. This is just getting that much bigger. They're all going to grow together. At some point I'm going to have to start picking stuff out and thinning it. I'll probably just treat it like sprouts and just eat what I pick real quick. The iceberg doing pretty good. The radishes, I did look something up, trying to figure out when to pick them, and it turns out for the French breakfast radishes, like these are, what you want is the width of the root, the actual radish, to be just under an inch, and that's about 3/4, that's about an inch. So let's see if we are. Wow, we are. Well, let's see. I'm sorry, that's a little hard to. Yeah, we're somewhere between 3/4 and an inch. And so I guess that first one I could actually pick, so maybe we'll enjoy that with lunch today. Let's see, other things. Looking for any major changes. The Swiss chard's looking a bit healthier. Yeah, that's all looking good. Do we have any sprouts up above? I seriously doubt it. But let's look. Oh, and it has not wrapped itself around yet. No change here. No real change here. The beans are getting bigger. Everything's getting just a little bit bigger, but no major changes there. So let's take a look in the back. And not in the veggie garden, but the cactus flowers here are getting a little bit big, while these have passed. Seeing what this all looks like here. Check the underside of the leaves. Oh, we got something on this one leaf here. I'm trying to show you. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to pick that leaf, get it out of here. I can see ants in the garden. That's not a good thing. But yeah, I got more flowers, and I got the nasturtium growing back into the other planters. But look, the black crim are definitely looking bigger. That's a really good thing. And actually, there might be a third one there now that I look at it. Plus the basil plants. I've still got to do something with that nasturtium. Yeah, things are pretty much just getting bigger. Do we have any sprouts on the poblano yet? Nope. And I'm not expecting much from these peppers just yet. They're only a couple of days planted. But this is dying off here too, so I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm guessing what happened is this one sprinkler head, which pushes over in that direction, is, I think I retuned it slightly so it wouldn't overshoot the wall and go onto the ground there, but I probably overcorrected. So I can deal with that later. But that's pretty much what the veggie garden's looking like right now. Let's go back to the side and talk about what's next. Today's kind of a big one. Hoping I can get a fair amount done before I get kind of knocked out by overworking. What I'm thinking is I want to get the dirt up on the hill so I can actually plant some of those seedlings that I've got sitting in the 6-packs. In order to do that, I need a pathway up. I need a stable area for me to be able to fling the dirt up higher. I mean, trying to climb all the way up and back down and back up and back down, that's not practical. So what I'm looking at is the area under the tree here versus where the iris is right now, and basically digging a pathway across. I'm going to try and carefully cut the ice plant so I'm not killing it all off. push some of it aside, and basically as I dig that pathway across, that's ultimately where the next level of the terracing will end up when we get back to it next year probably. So it's not really a big deal to dig back there because that'll be the next planting bed, and I can actually kind of make it a planting bed this year too, but it'll give me a pathway to be able to fling some dirt further up the hill, deal with some of the ice plant issues. So that's the first thing, is just simply, I think I'm going to dig across from the citrus tree, from the orange tree here, across to the iris. In fact, actually, I'm looking up and I can see some oranges up there, so I may pick a few of those first. But that's pretty much the initial game plan for today, and we'll see how much further I can get. Trust me, it looks more impressive from up above. I'm not quite all the way over to the iris yet, but I'm getting lightheaded, so it's time for a break. One unintended benefit of digging a trench up there, I can actually reach some of the oranges I couldn't reach before, so managed to pull a few off the tree. Time for a snack. Blisters, anyone? Yeah, that took a little effort, but I tossed a bunch of dirt up on the hill. Now I can see I actually need to do some weeding, and let me see if I can't go mobile here. Sorry about that. And just kind of show you, you can see the underside of the bushes there. I think that needs to be cleaned up a bit. There's a bunch of deadwood under there. There's grass growing out. So I need to deal with some of that, and I need to level all of that off before I actually plant these little seedlings. So I think, I mean, even though it may not be exactly lunchtime just yet, but that was a significant amount of work. And I need to let, you know, I did all of that with just the soil that I dug out there. I did not use any of this, And I need to let it dry out, but maybe what I'll do is I'll switch the two tops, or I don't know, can I dig some of this out and throw it in there and then be able to cover it up, and then I'll have that much more. Maybe I'll give that a quick shot. But yeah, that's kind of where I am. I don't think I'm going to record anything else for today, and I'll just let you know what happened. So for now, we'll wrap it up for the day and say, let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Saturday morning to you. We're starting out here because this flat finally has some developments. This is the ice plant I was attempting to grow, and it looks like I've got a bunch of tiny little sprouts in various different places. It was really hard to try and put individual sprouts in individual cells, or I mean individual seeds. And then when I watered, I was afraid I just kind of washed them all in one direction. But we'll see what happens. We've got some tiny sprouts. That's a good start. Let's see what else is up in the garden. I will tell you that yesterday I came back out and I planted some more carrots up there. You can see the two green tags now. I'm not really expecting sprouts of anything else because I just planted. The pots have been moved around. Ignore that. Yeah, nothing there. Nothing here. Well, yeah, just weeds and some stuff left over from yesterday that when I was up there, I was having to toss the stuff, the green waste down, and some of it just kind of landed there. Oops. Our bean's trying to grow into another plant. Alright, well, I'm going to try and encourage it to wrap around there again. We'll see what happens with that. Whew, these things are getting big. That's looking good. Chives are definitely getting bigger. I added to the Swiss chard, since I only have 3 sprouts. I mean, there's one tiny little one there. So I added some more going to the left. You can kind of see this slight discoloration. Sprinklers went off this morning, so that's why the ground's wet. Spinach, I added more spinach because I've only got 1 sprout. Radishes, since I got this over here, I went ahead and added some more over here. And then you can kind of see what the lettuce is looking like. It's getting bigger and bigger. The carrots are getting bigger and bigger. I don't think they've pushed themselves out yet, so that'd be kind of an interesting way to grow plants, is when you know they're kind of ready when they start pushing themselves out, because they can only go down so far. But that's what this is looking like. And now we're in the back. Let's see, ooh, we got some more of these variegated coming up. That's nice. We'll do a little bit of an aphid check here. Nothing, oh darn, there's another one. And another leaf with aphids on it, so they didn't go away. Ooh, they're running around. Are those aphids or ants? You can see them kind of running around if I can get it in focus. So I'm just going to pull this leaf. Yeah, that's unfortunate that I keep getting aphids showing up, and I can also see there's still ants here, so I have one more possible solution I'm going to try, but I won't bore you with that. Let's see. The cherry picks seem to be, I got that 1 sprout, the rest of it seems to be weeds. I got to pull some of that out. Notice how dry this is right here, right there, and over here. I think the problem is actually not that sprinkler head, but this one over here. So I'm going to do a quick test to see if I can't get that working. And ooh, sorry, squirrel. If you have dogs, or you know somebody, you're close enough to somebody with dogs, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like I finally got a sprout in the poblano, so that's a good thing. Yeah, and these don't seem to be too wet either, so I'm gonna do a quick check on this sprinkler head and that one. I'm gonna go get some tools to be able to adjust them, and then we'll come back and look at that. So we got a little bit of overspray, but I think I've got it corrected. It was both of them needed some work. This one I needed to correct so it went up along the wall and didn't overshoot in this direction, because it wasn't even going completely over here. So now it should kind of carry or cover the front of the wall, the planters on the front. You can see they've gotten a little bit moist, and that's just with like 3 minutes and with me adjusting. And I also, the screw on the top there, I turned it so that it wouldn't project over too far and potentially not go beyond. You can see there's a wet spot there, but that's before I adjusted it. So that takes care of that one. This one was pretty close, but now it also projects in that direction, and I make sure that it tries to get, or made sure that it tries to get some water on these. I probably need to splash some water on independently, but that's good. So now let's move on to the next thing. I'm sorry if I seem a little bit rushed. It's already, what, about 10:30 now, and I got sidetracked with some things, and I want to kind of do whatever I want to do by lunchtime. So I think what I need to do next is get up on the hill. I'm not sure how I'm going to set this up for you to see. I guess I have to bring the tripod up and be able to pull some of the grass that you can see up there, and also cut out some of the dead branches under that bush, under both bushes. Basically, I just need to do the maintenance, and then I can flatten out all that soil. So here we go. So if you weren't watching last year, or I didn't record, there are actually two levels up here. There's this pathway below, and there's another pathway up above, but there are some people over there I don't want to disturb. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is setting up and starting at the far end and working my way back this way. Just got to pull weeds, cut dead stuff out, so you'll see a lot of that, and you may see trips back and forth, and hopefully the camera won't take a tumble down the hill, because it's kind of steep right here because I haven't actually leveled it off. So let's see how this works. Yeah, it looks like the only way to do this is from down below. Plus I gotta go get another tool anyway, so back down we go. Wow, I really aired that sucker out. If you're wondering why there's so much cut out of the middle there, it's just there's a lot of dead wood in there, and every year I pull out more dead wood. I don't know if it's from the previous year or if it goes back even further, but a lot of deadness. And the problem is you've got branches in there that rub against other branches and then cause them to, it injures the branches, and that may be why there's so much brown up there. So I don't mind so much cutting it back. Maybe I could have actually trimmed it to make it look like something, but I'm just going to leave it kind of wild for now. But I also managed to get the it kind of leveled up there. I kind of wonder if I need more soil up there. So now I'm thinking, yeah, I need to, well, first I need to clean up a bunch of stuff. I tossed a bunch of stuff down the hill just because it was easier than trying to carry it down. And a lot of the branches and stuff that I tossed down landed in the garden, which isn't great. Not the best aim. But ultimately, I need to clean up. I'm going to clean up, take a break, have lunch, and then either we'll see what comes up tomorrow, or we'll see what comes up today. Alright, I've given it a little bit more thought, and I made a decision. I am not going to be planting the various things in the 6-packs that I wanted to grow in addition to what I've already got planted. I'm not going to be putting them way up on top of the hill. That's just so inaccessible and inconvenient. Maybe in a year or two, if we have more terracing done and a whole system of steps to get up there, it won't be quite so bad. I mean, then the garden will be that much bigger, and wow, that'll be great. But for now, I just kind of I've always wanted to try and grow watermelon. We've got sun, I've got seedlings. So this whole trench or culvert or whatever you want to call it that I dug out, which will ultimately become next year in some form or another, maybe not exactly in the same location, but it'll become the next wall that we build and the next bed. I'm going to, I think I'm actually going to remove the iris that's up there. We've got plenty of other iris around, and that thing just keeps, I mean, it's draping over and into the beds right there. So it's just kind of in the way, and it's going to be a challenge to dig, and yeah, and I got a ton of cleanup to do down here from all the stuff I tossed down. So I'm going to try to do the cleanup here to get that out, and then take some of the soil that I've got sitting in these bins and make mounds up there where I dug out before, and then I can plant my seedlings. I don't know if I can get all that done today. I got to start with the cleanup. I got to get some music going. I got to get my juices flowing. So here we go. It's time to throw in the towel. I realized while I was up there how tired and achy I am and how much I'm going to pay for this. So I left the pickaxe and the spade up there. I realized that where I was trying to dig out where the iris was, I was trying to dig it down to the same level as everything else, and I ended up digging down further. So I think the strategy is going to be tomorrow I'll pick up again where I moved the pot over there. That's, I think, where I'm going to start planting. I need to think this through. My plans may change, but at the moment, seems like right about where that is, I'll move it over. I'll dig down until I basically hit rock, much like I've done with the stuff down here. So at that point, I have removed all of that soil, and I'll toss it up above as much as I can. Then we'll put in some better soil, some of the sifted soil, and plant the seedlings and just start working from the right to the left, I think. So that's kind of my thinking for now, but I'm spent. I'm done. That's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Sunday morning to you. After being in the editing bay, I'm realizing that, yeah, this video is getting long, so we're going to do a quick update here. Basically, things that have changed or things that are important. The radishes are all pretty much ready to pick. I might leave one or two of them in there, and then I think I'll have to throw a few more seeds in, although I've done the same already over here. And yesterday, that middle green tag is the atomic red carrots. I planted those, so I've got all three now planted up there. They're just a day apart. These pups are getting big, and if I can get things done today, then they will go up there. but you'll have to watch the next video for that. Other stuff, you already know that I've planted some... ooh, I lost my train of thought there. Well, you already know that I've planted some additional stuff. Basically more Swiss chard, more spinach. The beans are growing nicely. The corn is actually, now that I look at it, it's getting a bit bigger there. So if it starts shooting up, then the bean will have an option of crawling up the pole or climbing the corn, which I've never watched that before because I've never been able to get three sisters quite this far before. It's usually only one or two of the sisters that lives. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. I think I need to put another pole in here, but that's could be done tomorrow. Let's go take a look at the back. And yeah, everything's pretty much the same. Kind of give you a view of the nasturtiums, especially since I got some other colors now. But the tomatoes are all about the same, just a little bit bigger. Peppers are a little bit bigger with a few more weeds. That takes care of that one. We now have 2 poblano sprouts. That makes me happy, although actually I kind of remember putting them in one particular pattern and this is turning out to be a slightly different pattern. But I mean, really it took, a little over 2 weeks for them to pop, and I got impatient, so there's 4 more of them in there, so I may have to be giving some of them away. No further development here. I did correct some of the sprinklers yesterday, so hopefully this will come back to life. If not, I've got 1,000,000 seeds, so I'm good on nasturtium. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching to this point. I mean, if you've been watching the whole thing, really appreciate it. If you're using it to put you to sleep, fine. There are some videos out there that after a long day in the garden, I go take a nap, and I do enjoy watching just to help me go to sleep, or when I'm wide awake, they're just relaxing. So I won't say what they are because I don't want to say certain channels put me to sleep. That's not really nice, but anyway, if that's what it is, that's what it is. And thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and yeah, that's it for this video. On to the next one. This is the Budget Gardener signing off, saying, may your thumb be green.